Hi, this is Brad Hoder for Engineered Efficiency. In this lesson, we're going to discuss reference file nesting. Lesson begins with us opening up this 100108_nesting.dgn. It is located in our install directory, module 10, topic 1001, lesson 100108. After opening the design file, let's open up our reference file dialog. Go into File, References. And in the reference file dialog, notice that we do have a file referenced. And it is our nesting.dgn. But if we come up to our view control and hit Fit View, notice there's no elements to be found. Well, that's because this file physically doesn't have anything in it, but it has reference files. So what nesting does, it's down here in the bottom of our dialog. If we come in and say live nesting, what this will do is go out to this file and bring in the file along with all of its references. So if we go live nesting and make the depth 1, then we should see our drawing. Notice now we see the proposed right of way, we see existing right of way, we see topo, we see all of the information. Well, to really visualize it, let's come up here in our reference file dialog and let's click on the Show Hierarchy. I'm going to expand this just to show it a little bit better. If I expand now the nesting.dgn, notice I see my nesting.dgn underneath. This is the file that I have referenced into my DGN. If I hit the plus again, these are all the files that are referenced into the nesting.dgn. Now, if we were to make the nesting depth, I'm going to expand my dialog a little so we can see it. If we make our nesting depth 2, what that means is go in, reference the file, grab all of its references, then go into these references and bring all of those references also. So we would have an expanded tree for each and every reference file that has references. Okay, here's something I would strongly suggest. When using nesting, live nesting, if a nesting depth of greater than 1 is being used, we should contemplate if we're using nesting correctly. The reason for it is it gets very confusing very quickly. Because live nesting means bring in the reference files. Therefore, if someone goes into my nesting.dgn and adds another reference file, I will see it in my 100108 nesting.dgn also. Because it's live. That means it always will read its references. So if we go too deep, that means the base files, if anyone references something into the base files, we will see it in our 10108 nesting.dgn. So when it's greater than 1, it gets very cumbersome and very confusing to control. So it is my suggestion to use 1. Once we have the nesting in here, all of the files that we see can be manipulated, if we so desire, with regular tools, with our reference file tools. This concludes the lesson on reference file nesting.